The clinking of forks against porcelain was the soundtrack to my humiliation. I sat at the family dinner table, a ghost in my own home, pushing my food around my plate. And then Mr. Davison said my presentation was the most insightful he's seen from an intern in years. My sister, Chloe, announced, her voice bright and commanding. She was holding court, as usual. The Realm of Myth account is incredibly complex, but I'm already getting a handle on it. Realm of Myth. The name sent a secret thrill through me. I kept my eyes down. That's our girl, Dad said, beaming with pride. We're so proud of you, sweetie, Mom added, reaching over to squeeze Chloe's hand. Then, the spotlight, as it always did, swung my way. And what about you, Maya? Chloe asked, her tone dripping with false concern. Still serving coffee at that little cafe? It's so brave of you to stick with it, even after, well, you know. After I dropped out of art school. She didn't need to say it. The unspoken words hung in the air: failure, disappointment, dead end. My heart did a painful little stutter. I took a slow sip of water, forcing my face to remain a calm mask. It pays the bills, I murmured. Chloe gave a light, tinkling laugh that grated on my nerves. I just worry about you. You need a real career, a path. Not just a hobby. She said the word hobby like it was something dirty. Mom, ever the peacemaker, gently scolded her. Chloe, that's enough. Maya is figuring things out in her own time. Chloe shrugged, effortlessly stealing the attention back. I'm just saying. Anyway, at Ethelgard, they value drive. They value success. I'm going to go so far there. Her eyes got a dreamy, faraway look. Maybe I'll even get to meet the great Kalen himself one day. The lead artist. Can you imagine? A strange sound, half choke, half laugh, escaped my throat. I disguised it as a cough. Kalen. The public face of Ethelgard Studios. The man the world thought was the artistic genius behind Realm of Myth. If only they knew. If only she knew. I remembered last night, hunched over my tablet in my dark apartment, the blue light glowing on my face. Lines of code and layers of digital paint. Finishing the massive Shadowfen expansion that would release next week. The expansion I had single-handedly designed. Leo, the man everyone called Kalen, had been on the video call with me, his voice full of awe. You've done it again, scribe. It's perfect. I was the ghost in the machine. The silent partner. The scribe. Chloe raised her glass, her smile blinding. A toast. To my future, and to maybe even meeting the legendary artist Kalen one day. Everyone at the table cheered and raised their glasses. I lifted mine slowly, my mind screaming the truth she would never guess. If only you knew, Chloe. If only you knew that the great Kalen emails me for approval on every single sketch. My apartment was my sanctuary and my command center. Canvases, some traditional, some digital, leaned against every wall. Towers of books about mythology and coding manuals formed a labyrinth on the floor. In the center of it all, my powerful desktop computer hummed, 2 large monitors displaying a breathtaking, half-finished landscape of a floating city. A frantic video call window was open on the secondary screen. Leo's face, usually calm and composed, was pale with panic. Scribe, we have a level 3 server crash on the European data center, he said, his voice tight. The new patch is corrupting player data on login. We're getting roasted online. I see it, I said, my voice calm. My fingers were already flying across the keyboard, pulling up lines of code on the main monitor. It's a conflict with the legacy authentication protocol. I told them we needed to phase that out 6 months ago. I know. Can you fix it? I didn't answer. I was already deep in the zone. Click, drag, rewrite. My other hand worked my graphics tablet, sketching a quick, temporary visual fix for the login screen error that would placate users while the back-end patch compiled. This was our dance. Leo was the face, the charmer, the businessman. I was the brain, the architect, the artist. Our partnership, sealed by a legally binding contract of total anonymity, was the foundation everything was built on. Compiling now, I said after a few intense minutes. The hotfix will deploy in 90 seconds. The visual band-aid is live. Leo slumped in his chair, running a hand through his hair. You're a lifesaver. I don't know what we'd do without you. You'd have a very pretty, very broken game, I said, a small smile touching my lips. He laughed, the tension draining from his face. The mystery is part of the brand, you know. Who is the scribe? It's the best marketing we never paid for. The world thinks I'm the creative genius, but you're our ghost. And ghosts can't be replaced. Just then, a company-wide email alert flashed on my second monitor. I absent-mindedly clicked to open it, my mind still on the server logs. It was the HR department's weekly update. My eyes scanned the list of new hires and intern placements. And then I saw it. My blood ran cold. There, on the new intern roster list, was my sister's name and her perfectly curated, smiling photo. Chloe Sullivan. Leo was still talking. So we'll just need you to approve the final asset bundle for the... His voice faded into a dull buzz. I couldn't look away from the screen. From my sister's face, now officially a part of my secret world. Leo, I interrupted, my voice strangely quiet. I have to go. I ended the call before he could respond, staring at the email as the reality of the situation settled over me like a heavy blanket. The sound of Chloe's laughter from the dinner table echoed in my mind, pulling me back to a time when her barbs were simpler, but somehow sharper. I was 10, sitting cross-legged on the floor of my room, my sketchbook open to a detailed drawing of a dragon coiled around a mountain peak. I was proud of it. The scales were just right. The door flew open without a knock. What are you doing, weirdo? Chloe, 13 and already a queen, stood in the doorway. Nothing, I mumbled, instinctively closing the book. She swooped in and snatched it. Let me see. She flipped through the pages, her nose wrinkled. Ugh, more monsters. Don't you ever draw anything nice? Like flowers? I like monsters, I said defensively. She stopped on the dragon drawing. For a second, I saw a flicker of something in her eyes, not admiration, but something darker. Annoyance. Then, with a quick, cruel motion, she ripped the page out. Hey. I'm going to show Mom and Dad, she declared. I'll tell them I drew it for them. Chloe, no. That's mine. But she was already running down the hall, her voice ringing out. Mom. Dad. Look what I drew for you. I didn't follow her. I didn't cry. I just looked at the torn, jagged edge left in the binding of my sketchbook. A hot, hard feeling settled in my chest. It wasn't just anger. It was a decision. That night, after my parents had praised her amazing talent, I took my newest, best sketchbook, the one with the black cover, and hid it under my mattress. The drawings in that one were better. They were my real heart. The dragons had more fire, the castles more shadow. As I lay in bed, I made a promise to myself in the dark. My real art, my best art, will be my secret. You'll never see it coming. That dynamic became our truth. Chloe thrived in the spotlight, school plays, cheerleading, loud parties. I inhabited the quiet spaces, the library, the art room, the corner of the couch where I could observe. Our parents loved us equally, I never doubted that. Mom came to my art shows, Dad framed my technical drawings of engine parts. But the world only had eyes for Chloe. Her voice was simply louder. Now, at 24, I saw how that childhood vow had shaped my entire life. I learned to listen, to observe, to build my worlds in the silence. Chloe still saw me as the quiet, awkward little sister, forever in her shadow. And that was fine. Most days. But as I looked at her name on the Ethelgard intern list, the memory of that torn drawing was vivid. She was about to walk into the biggest masterpiece I had ever created. And she still has no idea what I can really do. The front door slammed shut, and a wave of expensive perfume and exuberant energy preceded Chloe into the house. "I'm home," she sang out. I was on the couch, pretending to read a book. I braced myself. She floated into the living room, dropping her new Ethelgard logoed backpack on a chair. "Oh my God, Maya. You would not believe it. The office is incredible. There's a slide between floors. And a free coffee bar with, 10 different kinds of syrups." "Sounds fun," I said neutrally. "Fun? It's a dream. Everyone is so smart and driven." She plopped down next to me, her eyes sparkling. "And the art. There are original concept pieces from the realm of myth all over the walls. It's like walking through the game." I knew. I had approved the office art layout myself. "So," she said, leaning closer, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "The big gossip. The lead artist. The one I told you about? Kalen?" My stomach tightened. "What about him?" "He's gorgeous, first of all. But get this, he's not the only one. There's this other person, the real genius, apparently. They call them the scribe." She said the name with a kind of reverent awe that was usually reserved for movie stars. I kept my face carefully blank. "The scribe?" "Yeah. No one has ever seen them. They work remotely. Their contract has this crazy anonymity clause. Can you believe it? It's so pretentious." She scoffed, but I could see the fascination in her eyes. "Maybe they just value their privacy," I offered. "Privacy is one thing. This is a total mystery. No one knows their name, their gender, nothing. It's the biggest secret in the gaming industry." She leaned back, a determined glint in her eye. "Well, I'm going to be the one who finds out." My blood went cold. "What?" "It's my new mission," she declared, winking at me. "I'm going to uncover the secret of the scribe." Can you imagine the look on everyone's face, on Leo's face, when I, the new intern, solve the biggest mystery in the gaming world? It would make my career. She stood up, stretching. "I'm going to change. This is going to be so much fun." She bounced out of the room, leaving me frozen on the couch. My book was forgotten in my lap. My secret, the foundation of my entire professional life, was now my sister's personal scavenger hunt. My smile felt frozen and brittle on my face. "You have no idea what you're about to start." A few days later, I was over at my parents' house for a midweek dinner. The atmosphere was different. My dad was quieter than usual, and my mom's smile seemed strained. "Everything okay?" I asked as I helped her set the table. She sighed. "Oh, just the roof. We got an estimate for the repairs. It's a bit more than we were expecting." My dad came in, rubbing the back of his neck. "It's fine, Sarah. We'll manage. We'll just dip into the savings a little deeper." "That savings was for your retirement, Tom," Mom said softly. A knot formed in my stomach. I knew they weren't struggling desperately, but they were careful with money. They had supported both of us through so much, they deserved ease. An idea, both reckless and perfect, began to form in my mind. That night, back in my apartment, I got to work. I created a new, encrypted email address under the name, the Aurora Foundation. I drafted a formal, but warm, letter. "Dear Mr. and Mrs. Sullivan, it is with great pleasure that we inform you that you have been selected as recipients of the Aurora Foundation's annual Community Pillar grant. This $25,000 grant is awarded to individuals in the community who have consistently demonstrated kindness, generosity, and a commitment to helping others. Your nomination was anonymous, but the board was deeply moved by the stories of your unwavering support for your neighbors and local charities." I read it over. It was a stretch, but it was true in spirit. My parents were the best people I knew. Using a complex network of digital transfers from an offshore account I used for my Scribe royalties, I set up the wire transfer. 2 days later, my phone rang. It was my mom, her voice trembling with emotion. "Maya, honey, you won't believe it. We won a grant. A miracle." "A grant? What kind of grant?" I asked, feigning surprise. "It's called the Aurora Foundation. They just sent us $25,000. They said it was for being community pillars. Can you imagine? We can fix the roof and still have plenty left to donate to the food bank." The joy in her voice was the most rewarding sound I'd ever heard. "That's amazing, Mom. I'm so happy for you. It's like a guardian angel," she said, her voice cracking. Then she paused. "You've been so quiet about all this, Maya. You don't seem surprised at all." My heart hammered against my ribs. I forced a light laugh. "I'm just stunned, that's all. It's incredible news." We talked for a few more minutes, but her final comment lingered. Did she know? Had some mother's intuition seen through my elaborate ruse? The warmth of my good deed was suddenly mixed with a chill of fear. The last thing I wanted was for my secret to hurt them. Chloe's mission to uncover the Scribe began in earnest. She'd come home from work and casually drop clues into conversation, watching me for a reaction that never came. "So, today I heard that the Scribe only communicates through encrypted text," she said one evening, stirring a pot of pasta. "No voice calls. Ever. Weird, right? Maybe they have a speech impediment," I said without looking up from my book. She frowned. "Or maybe they're just paranoid." Another time, she mentioned, "The finance team says the royalty payments for the Scribe go to a law firm's trust account. It's a dead end." "Sounds smart," I commented. Her frustration was a subtle, simmering thing. She couldn't understand why I wasn't as captivated by the mystery as she was. The following week, she was assigned to the IT department to help organize old server archives. It was a boring, tedious job, which was exactly why she cut corners. Bored, she decided to explore the network drives, clicking through folders she had no business accessing. That's when she found it, a folder simply named Scribe_Archives. It was buried deep, but not deep enough. Her heart must have leaped. This was it. The motherlode. She later told me the story, painting herself as the bold explorer. My hand was shaking, "Maya. I just knew this was it. Original concepts, maybe even a contract with a real name." She double-clicked. The folder started to open. She saw a list of files, eldertree_valley_concept.jpg, dragunkin_physiology.pdf. Her breath caught.
"Sullivan! What are you doing?"
The voice was like a whip crack. Mr. Davison, her department head, was standing behind her, his face like thunder. Chloe jumped, slamming the laptop shut.